Hello. Happy Thursday. I almost said Wednesday. The week is going by so quickly. Every time I take Monday off, it goes by so fast. So, how are you guys? Let me know you can see me and hear me. We have so many weird issues lately. You have to reassure me. Hello, Raquel. Nice to see you. How's it going? I don't think I cleaned my glasses, but maybe I can get by. How are you guys and gals, sewists? I'm pretty excited about sewing this because it's just kind of, it's so unique. Thanks, Ray. I can see you too and hear you. It's hot in Southern Alabama. Oh, it's finally cooling off here because last night I actually was like looking for a blanket in the middle of the night. Hi, Vicky. I've never been to Alabama. You like that, Ray? I can see you and hear you. I can see your texts. All right, so first off, I thought this was going to be part 1 and part 2 on Saturday. Hi, Megan. And apparently this is going to be kind of quick, so there's only going to be part 1 today, as long as everything goes well today. I've already ironed my interfacing, which I forgot to cut with you guys yesterday, so we're ready to go. Hi, Ida. Peach. I love peaches. There's peaches here too. I live in stone fruit country. And they come about really early, which always throws me off since I'm used to living somewhere cooler, and they don't happen till like now, like August, September. We get a like harvest now too, but peaches will start showing up here in May, and I'm like, what? Hi, Carol. Welcome, you guys. So good to see you. So I'm sewing the Kielo Wrap Dress by Named Clothing today. I don't have the pattern envelope. Sorry, you guys. I get a copy of it. Beaches. Oh, beautiful beaches. Oh, I see it. Beaches. Hilarious. You know what's really funny, Ray, is that I was like, oh, yeah, Georgia, peaches. We're talking about Alabama. Oh, my gosh. Oh, really, Megan? I see that a lot. I see that in particular with a few silhouettes. Beautiful beaches. Hey, I'm in California. We have some beautiful beaches too. Yeah, I know. Don't you love that, Ray? I don't know why I immediately was like, yeah, Georgia, beaches. This is Named Pattern Company. Are you talking about a different one, Megan? This is Named. Hi, Lisa. How's it going? I do see a lot of, I don't think they're copies, so to speak. I can see you laughing. I can hear you laughing. Oh, good. I hope, Carol. Guy of soap in there. I'll be watching a stream in the car, and then all of a sudden, like, my whole family gets a text that the number ending in blah, blah, blah is used 50% of its data, and we all assume, of course, it's my daughter, and then I'm like, oh, shoot, that's my number. I better watch it. Busted. So, yeah, so this is a really interesting dress. I've never made one before. I've never tried one on. And when I looked at the hashtag, I saw so many really incredible ones. It's a really interesting, Carol, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I won't tell on you. I don't know if you want to make it. That's awesome, Nancy. Nancy, I like you. Nancy posted a picture of herself wearing hers yesterday in our group on Facebook. Anyone can be a part of that group, by the way. You just ask to join, and then as soon as I see it, I accept you. And then you can post in there. You can ask questions. You can say, hey, has anyone heard about this? Is this good or not? Is anyone having trouble with this? You might get some late night support if you need it. So, yeah, so this dress, I feel like this image right here does not really do it justice because you're seeing it unwrapped right here. and then you're seeing it from the back wrapped on the front. So there's a few variations. You can tie it to the front, you can tie it to the back, you can tie it twice around you. So yeah, you could try that, Lisa. I've seen it on lots of body types. I feel like it makes most people look tall and slender, which is great, right? And you know, if that's what you're going for. But not everybody is. And I still think it looks really good on those folks. And then I'm like, oh, hey, they're actually about my height and a little curvier. And it kind of gives that optical illusion. So I'm always like, oh, this is going to be for everybody who's tall and thin. And then I looked at the hashtag. I'm like, wait a minute, just look at this closely, you know. There's a lot of people that look like me here. Yeah, you're right, Nancy, exactly. Hi, Polly. How's it going? I was just threading my machine. Why don't I have scrap fabric? Oh, here we go. I do. Being a little hard on myself here. And the other really interesting thing about this pattern is that you can make it in knit, woven, or stretch woven. You're going for tall and slender. Me too. And also, there's a sleeve expansion pack that you can get for it. And I actually am sorry, I don't know if that costs or not. So, but today's stream is sponsored by Hearts Fabric. They provide everything for us to do this, and you can get a discount with them if you use SoSo10, 10% off if you order online with them. So, yeah, I think it looks good on lots of different types of bodies too. I was gonna look at the sizing though. So yeah, so I am making the size 44 right here. So I am one away from the top range. Maybe this is one of those companies that offers more sizes with their PDF download. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure this was a PDF download for Hearts, but I'm not sure about that. And the 44 fits bust 39 and a half. I'm about a 38, 39. I don't know, Nancy. Let's see. Let's see. As a rule of thumb, it can be considered that the lighter the fabric is, the more challenging it is to sew. A satin weave is more difficult than a plain weave. A non-stretch is easier to sew than one with stretch. Okay, this is just about difficulty. I'm trying to remember why I know that this is available for stretch and non-stretch. The sleeve is a free download. Thank you for telling me that. Hi, Miriam. How's it going? So you're live today, right? Like you will be soon. I'm gonna try and remember to raid you. Yeah. So Miriam, if she's on Twitch right now, that's where she's commenting to me. She might even be wearing hers today because she knew we were making this. And I'm gonna try and raid her today. So, what are you making today, Miriam? What are you doing today in your stream? Tell us. Let's see. I do kind of want to look at this and see if you're making it in knit, does it say to do anything different? Let me look closer. Right, see, I may not have everything for the pattern. So. Designed for 5'8". Maybe I'm seeing it and I'm like skimming past it. It might even be on their website too. Okay, that's all about printing the pattern. This is stitching. I mean, I'm not reading these because they say like it's titled stitching, so I'm like, it's probably not about that. But and then it gets right into the instructions. I mean, if your fabric's really stretchy, yeah, Nancy, I actually think that's the one made by them. Is it like a wide stripe? Because I saw that one on their blog as well. Because I was kind of poking around on their website looking for anything about shortening this because I wanted to make sure, you know, like I was telling you that I got the diameter correct around the knees. And I wanted to know, like, do I just, you know, use the bottom, or do I use the knee width that's right there? And you kind of split the difference. They didn't really talk about it. Yeah, I probably would, if you're like, say you're at the bottom of this size range. Well, there's not size range. These are considered numbered sizes, so there's not actually a range per size. It looked really good, Nancy. I totally agree. The knit looked really yummy too. There was something about it. Like, I actually haven't stopped thinking about that dress too. It was really striking. I mean, if you saw black and white wide striped fabric, I don't think this would be my first dress I would consider making it in, and it looked amazing. Yeah, I think right, exactly. Yeah, so say you're a 36-inch bust. That would be the 40-inch. Size 40, sorry, not 40-inch. That's the size 40. The next size down is 2 inches away. That's cool. That's quite a jump, honestly. It's like 1 3/4 of an inch away. That's quite a jump. If your fabric's really, really stretchy, I would probably make the size down at least. Yeah. Oh, really, Nancy? You liked your toaster sweater knit? That's cool. I just thought it's our 2-year anniversary needle sharps. All right. Well, let's get sewing. I've kind of briefly looked at the directions the other day. I just want to try and make sure I'm doing it about there's literally 2 seams, you know. Gotta love it. I was like, 2-part, and Melin's like, I don't think you're gonna make it to 2 parts. I was like, oh, okay. Good point. All right, let's hope my darts are still marked, though. You know how rayon is. And I used really big pins right here because that was all I had over there. Didn't have the pie. I don't have them marked on the back side either. I really like it when I take the time. It's like a gift to myself, you know? You need some dart tips. In what capacity? You're an expert. What are you talking about? Oh, gosh, Miriam. Bummer. What are you making today, Miriam? All right, let's take out the pins. So the dart placement, I mean, it's an armhole dart. I'm gonna just put my pin all the way through so I don't lose that one. It's an armhole dart, and look at that, I didn't mark the, what the heck? You're wearing your Kielo. Okay. Leather handles on a cheap IKEA drawer set? What? Oh, Nancy. How do I mark my darts, Lisa? I will show you. Let's leave this out just in case I need that one too. What the heck? Okay, this is all the skirt I just chopped off the pattern. Don't look at that. So Lisa, usually what I do is, because this was Swedish tracing paper, I couldn't do my usual method, so that probably kind of threw me off. So what I usually do is, if this is pinned to the fabric and this is paper, I would put my pin through all the way through both layers of the fabric, and then I would pin the other way from below both layers of fabric, pin it up, and then I would pull it apart, and so then, you know, the pins would just be one on each side, the left and the right? And then I just pin it like this. But because this isn't paper, I couldn't like tear a hole to pull my pin through, and so I kind of marked my pins in an awkward way. I just lost the pin, here it is. But what I need is the dart legs, and then I just usually clip my dart legs. So I was trying to drag out the cutting yesterday, which means that then I start forgetting things, you know? And I usually always try and mark my darts from the back side, not the front side, like this one was today. Oh, dang, I just threaded my needle and I lost it. All right, so I'm gonna nip that. So I went to Target with my mom there yesterday. I feel like I always have a story for you guys. I've had a really weird week. And I thought this will be fun. Like, I haven't been to Target in forever. I was looking for something really random, like specific, that I got a long time ago, and it's a remote control for lights. I think I was telling you about that. So we're there. And I was like, oh, I can get laundry liquid. And so I went to pick it up from the bottom shelf, and because the handle I think was to the back, I picked it up from the cap, and the cap wasn't screwed on, and I was bent over, and the cap pulled off, and the laundry liquid went slam, and all the liquid shot straight up at my face, into my eyes and my mouth, and all down the front of my dress. Yeah. I tasted that Method Spring Fresh flavor until I went to bed last night. Like, I literally, afterward we left Target, I was like, I'm going to Del Taco and I'm getting a strawberry shake to get rid of this taste in my mouth. Like, it was so, I just could not wait to wash my face. I've had the weirdest week. Oh, wow. Yeah, Miriam, exactly. I know. And and I saw a guy, I was like, hi, I really need some help here. Like, I need like some towels. My mom was there, you know, and she was just shocked by the whole thing, trying to help me. And but I couldn't open my eyes, you know, like I couldn't even see if there was someone standing there handing me a towel. And I was like, this is me. I was sitting there like this. I was like, I really need a towel. My eyes were shut. I really need a towel. I'm trying to be really nice right now, but I'm starting to feel like I can't be nice. Can you please hand me a towel? The poor guy. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, gosh, Miriam, exactly. Yes, I mean, and it felt like it was just sitting right here the whole rest of the day. You know what I mean? Oh, my little eye was a little red. And just that taste, you know? I was just like, I know, I was glad my mom was with me. I probably would have just walked out of the store at that point, you know, but I persevered. Didn't go get the thing I came for because I didn't have it yet. So, but I will. All right, so I'm kind of worried that my pins are going to fall out of my darts. So typically when I sew my darts, did I really not mark this one? Wait. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay. I just couldn't see it. Wait, do I really do this? I do, right? Okay. So I'm just going to look at this before I tell you what I'm doing. So I lined up those two dart legs right there, right? Like that. And if a dart is, you know, drafted pretty good and you cut your fabric on the green, when you fold it along the center of the dart, usually darts don't look like this. I look extra clean today. I didn't even take a shower, thanks. I had my Rita shirt dress so that there's this gob of soap here and then all down my skirt because I was kind of bent over, you know. And I just smelled, I felt like probably everywhere I walked in the store, people were like, what's that smell? It was me. When I got home, I was like, okay, I did not end up getting the laundry liquid, so I didn't even walk away with it. But I was like, I'm so glad because I feel like if I washed my clothes with that scent, I think I have to take a break from it, you know? Like, and what was really funny was a couple times earlier than that, my mom and I were talking about, I was like, oh, I like this flavor. I'm like, not flavor, because I would never eat this. And it was really funny. And then she said the same thing. She goes, yeah, you're right. I just said flavor. And it was like for soap or something. And then I ended up eating it, you know. I'm extremely fresh. Exactly. Yeah. All right, so here's my dart. So where my pin went into the fabric is the end of the dart, right? So that's the end of the dart where the pin goes into the fabric, not where it comes out. I pinned this shut. There's my dart leg right there. Usually your dart actually is pointed right here or it's coming up. It's not going in. So this looks a little different, but it's fine. It's just the where it's at, right? I'm glad it was method. Thankfully, it wasn't tied. I didn't swallow any. But, ugh, what a weird thing. I felt like, and this is me, you guys, because, you know, I had the whole wallet thing the day before, right? So my wallet, if you guys didn't know this, but someone came in, talked to me, and then walked out with my wallet without me knowing. It took me a few minutes to know the other day. So I've been a little rattled ever since that. And then the next day I had this happen. Yesterday I had the soap happen. And then I got home and I was just feeling, I was kind of in that, like, I'm over it. Like, I'm over everything. I want to go food and I want to play video games and I don't want anyone to talk to me. That's kind of where I was feeling. I wasn't feeling like mad. I was just feeling like, ugh, I'm done right now, right? I was a little tired. You know, I traveled all weekend, whatever. And I couldn't find my glasses right when I got home. And I was like, oh yeah, I lost my glasses. And I didn't even look that hard for them because I was like, not in my basket, not in my car. I looked in the two places. I had already unpacked everything. And exactly, Megan, I was like, it comes in threes. Well, of course, it's my glasses. I left them at Target somewhere. I didn't even look that hard. And my husband, when I kind of told him what happened right after I walked in the door, he just took one look at me and he was like, I'm going to go look for your glasses. I'm usually the finder, by the way, of our house. I'm the finder. And so he went out and he found them in my truck right away. Like they were slipped between the seat and the thing, of course, right? But I was literally like, oh yeah, I lost my glasses. That's just how it is right now. And then I was like, and I was kind of relieved. I was like, okay, perfect. The third thing happened. It's done. Because I also, yesterday at Target, I bought one of those pop socket things for the back of my phone because my hands are a little, just a bit of a wreck, and they have been for years, you know. They're fine. They work very, like, my hands are fine. But at the same time, like, they've just been overused, you know, the mouse and all that. And so I'm always trying to change up positions for my hands to kind of better take care of them. And I thought, maybe I'll try one of those. Someone gave me one, and then I gave it to my assistant because she was having hand issues, and I wasn't. I was like, here, you should try this. And I never got it back, which was no problem at all. I just went and bought one yesterday. And I gave that to her like 2 years ago. And so I was like, oh, I'll try this. And then when my glasses were found, this is my thinking, you guys. Like, I'm usually kind of an optimist. I don't know why I was being so pessimistic. Well, I know why, but I was like, oh, he found my glasses. Dang it, it's going to be my phone. I drop my phone all the time, you guys, and I've never broken a screen. And I know you're all like, don't say that out loud. You just jinx yourself. No, it does. I've said it millions of times. I think saying it doesn't jinx it for me. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to put the pop socket on my phone and I'm going to break my phone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you guys are the finder too? Yeah, exactly, Lisa. I've stopped looking very hard if they're not going to. Your evil spawns get home early, 3-day weekend. Oh, bummer, Megan. Yeah. I need a locker in my office with a lock. I locked my door today. I put up a dog fence and I locked the door. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna back stitch at the beginning. Let's sew. That's the real therapy I need. So see how none of this is torquing right here? Like if you had a dart that was kind of drafted weird, you might get torquing. I can't even mimic it right now. This rayon is like loosey-goosey, so I'm just gonna respect the rayon, you know? Hi, Melin! How's it going? Oh, I think I need a lighter weight needle. All right, so I'm gonna try and keep this nice and straight between the needle and there. This feels like either my thread or my needle is a little big. Let's see when I'm done. All right, I don't backstitch. I hand tie. That way you don't have like a little bump right there because remember that's going to the fullest part of your bust. So, did I do any pattern matching for the back? Nope, I did not. I didn't even think about it, Miriam. That would have been a good thing to do. So we'll see how it turns out. I was a little skint on fabric, so I didn't even cross my mind. But I probably should have, so I ended up being okay. Yeah, so I feel like there's Maybe it's just a little bump. All right, so there's one dart. Wait, my thread came undone again, didn't it? Oh no, there we go, that's fine, it's fine. I was like, wait, I did the sewing. What did we just sew? What did we sew last time? Hi, Eileen. Yeah, right, Miriam, exactly. What did we sew? Did we sew the jeans? Yeah, let's change our needle. All right, I have 14 is still a little heavy for this, but not by much. It's better than the 18 I had in there. Scout tee. Oh, you're right, Raquel. I made the scout tee. Maybe I did need to change my needle. It's always okay to change your needle, though. You cannot go wrong with changing your needle. Ever. I've sometimes changed my needle, didn't clear up my little thing, and then I changed it immediately again. You can get a bad needle. I've definitely gotten a bad needle before. And sometimes while you're trying to monkey around with trying to get things like corrected, whatever's going, you might damage your needle, even if it's brand new. So it's always good to change your needle. It's the thing you should splurge on. That and rotary knife blades. I'm all about, this thread's just, I feel like this thread's just kind of thick, you know? Let's look at it. Oh yeah, so this is Tex 40 thread. And usually what you guys sew with is 27. So, but my bobbin isn't 27. So, oh, I didn't figure out a baby pocket. I feel like, here's how I feel about the pocket. I feel like a pocket would be great, except for the fact that in this fabric, it's so lightweight that if you put your phone in there, it might distort it. You use 80-12 a lot. Yeah, that's a great needle size. Yeah, exactly. The Scout, you guys are right. I think I'm gonna wind a bobbin on my home machine. Sorry, just a second, you guys. I've got one, but it's the wrong bobbin. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna do a lighter weight thread. I think it'll help a lot. And winding a bobbin on this machine is so fast. I love it. And I can put whatever bobbin I want on it, which is nice. Okay. You guys will have to entertain yourselves. Sorry. Why aren't you going? Oh, weird. I've never had that happen. Of course, I've never had that happen. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Do you get, what kinds of, yeah, that's true, Miriam. What kinds of blades do you get in there, Nancy? Because yeah, she really is a subscription. I kind of remember when she was looking at subscription boxes last year, because she found me through Needle Sharp, and then we chatted a couple times, like, have you tried any others? That was my first one. Do you remember that, Nancy? Well, Megan, this machine has a bobbin winder attached to the side of it, and I wound one, but the way it winds the bobbin is it does it as you're sewing. So, but on my home machine, it's really fast. I can just put it on top and just do it. If I can wind the bobbin while I am not sewing on something, I can unthread the needle, hold it, but I think if you saw that happen, it's a little stressful to watch. It's fine, but it does feel a little weird that your machine's going full throttle, nothing in it, holding the thread. I don't know. There's just something about it. It's totally fine. It's just one of those things that still spooks me. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you use a rotary blade. That's cool. That's cool. All right, where's my let's see. All right, so we lightened the thread and we lightened the needle. And I just lightened my tension just now too, because I don't mess around. I monkey around with my tension all the time, guys. I don't really care. But where's the mark? There it is. Okay. So this point to there. See, I barely nipped in there. I try not to nip in too much because that is the sewing line, you know. Yeah, I've seen those little machines, Megan. That'd be pretty handy, especially if you had a machine that, like an older one that doesn't have a bobbin winder. Oh, really? That's great, Nancy. Yeah, so I've bought blades and accidentally bought blades that weren't Olfa brand. I use an Olfa cutter and regretted it. They look like it. They were trying to mimic the packaging of it, you know, in the yellow. And then when I got them, I was like, oh, no. And I usually am pretty good about checking to make sure they're actual, because I buy them in packs of 10. Trying to get that more along the fold line there. Could have not marked it very accurately. It happens. It feels really different now that I've changed all that. Let's see how it looks. It feels nice and lightweight though. I think that's a better better weight for this fabric. I know you guys can't feel it, but I can. I could have just faked it and not even told you all that. You would have never known. But it's a thing, right? We do this. This is what we do when we're sewing. So you like your Fisker rotary knife, but you don't like the blades? I haven't tried the titanium. All right, so this is our front. We have our darts. Let's do the back darts. I'm just dragging this out. So the back has fisheye darts, which I feel like I do not have. Wait, what happened to all the markings? Oh, there they are. There they are. Okay. Just couldn't see them. Lately, this is what I've been doing. I've been pinning my label to it so I don't forget. Yeah, Ray, it's not easy on these rounds. Yeah. I just try and keep it relaxed while I'm doing it, you know? All right, so this is another one I didn't mark on the back side. So let's transfer our markings. I'm going to start with, I only did it on one side because I was like, you know, you are doing this on the wrong side. So just do it on one side. All right, so I'm going to stick my blade. So I don't know if you're still here, Lisa, but see, like that needle or pin, I mean, is going through. And I can see now, I just want my pin to go right through where it ends. I'm gonna pull it apart and I'm gonna just secure it best I can. I mean, you can even clip it, clip your pin in there like that. It helps. Anything to kind of keep it in there. All right, I'm gonna stick my pin through both sides. Again, like this. I gotta be careful. The rayon just definitely wants to eject any pins I'm putting in here. Okay, so this one I got. I obviously there's a lot of better ways to mark darts, you guys, but I'm just not always a pro about everything. You know what I mean? Like this works. I'm sitting right here. Do what works for you. Do what you know is keeping it accurate and you can handle with whatever you got on you. You know what I mean? So you couldn't keep up with the cooking that the Blue Apron box gave you? I thought about doing that. I'm not really the chef, so don't really want to start that paradigm. Who's Louise Cuttings? Is that another sewing person? I haven't heard of her. Oh yeah, your ultra washable markers. It's a good idea. Yeah, and chalk is mediocre. You can lose the chalk pretty easily. But yeah, I feel like I did just mark these kind of in the most awkward way. All right, so the back is, there's this seam down the back. What's going on here? There we go. And then I have my label pinned to the top here so I don't forget. We would have sometimes seconds at Chicken Boots purely for the reason the label got missed, because there was no way to insert it at the end without being awkward, you know? Oh, really, Miriam? You still have to do grocery shopping? Meal ideas and shopping lists. Oh, cool. Hi, Louise. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. Rayon wants to eject everything, doesn't it? It's like Teflon. The color on Twitch is so much better than on YouTube. Or on Streamlabs. Not YouTube. Streamlabs. I don't know what it looks like on YouTube. Oh, cool, Malin. There you go, you guys. That's cool, Ray. That's awesome, Miriam. My husband used to like always make a dinner every night when he got home from work. It was the way he relaxed, you know? And I feel like moving here really disrupted so many things for us. I don't know why. Well, the grocery shopping here isn't anywhere near as good as where it was where I used to live. That's part of it. We were really used to some really high quality food, you know? And that was a little disappointing for us. All right, so technically if I've marked this accurately and it was drafted right, when you hold the end to the end of this fisheye dart, the sides, the widest part of the dart should stack up on itself. You know what I mean? Now you could iron this. You could iron that right there, and just to make sure that you are getting it nice and straight. I feel like that's a little bit overkill, but there's nothing wrong with that. Just because then you have to kind of iron it out. And so mine's okay. You only need one side of this dart marked because you're only going to see one side once you've got it. So I'm going to not backtack at the top of this fisheye. And you're going to go straight to the widest part, which you probably can't see. It's right there. And then straight to the other. And then you're going to pivot to the other end. It's an optical illusion that this looks like it's on an angle. What I'm doing is drawing a straight line from here to here, right? My machine's sewing weird. It's not that thrilled with the lighter weight stuff. It's okay. It can do it, and it's designed to be able to do all kinds of things. But you can't calibrate your machine to sew everything, you know? So... yeah, good food stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, right, Megan? I know. I'm with you. Now that my teen has her independence, she likes to eat out a lot, and that's what she saves her money for. And so she'll spoil her dinner. Like her schedule is a little different than ours. So she likes to eat her big meal at about 3 o'clock. You know? So that's what I don't like about lightweight thread. I feel like you get... it slides a little. that's probably because the needle, maybe it's slightly too big. The needle hole is too big for the thread. Here we go. All right, we have one. Let's do this one. I'm just, you know, doing this as nice and slow. Yeah, you could, Megan. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely not a strict sewist. If you're looking for that kind of thing or you want couture sewing, it's probably not your place. I had that hobby once. It was fun. I'm more into like sportswear. Like the traditional definition of sportswear, meaning everyday clothing. I like everyday clothing. I like wovens. I like sewing wovens. Oh, I just backstitched. Oops. Habit. All right, so I'm gonna line it up from here. So what I think is more important is getting the line straight from the beginning and the end, you know, rather than just assuming this is right. So I would rather get this, and it should be on grain, you know. Your fisheye waist darts do not go at an angle. Let's get rid of this one here. I'm a little nervous to work on that cherry pie pin cushion, you guys. What if I can't figure it out? What I thought was logical then may not be logical anymore, you know? Nancy, exactly. You dare to suggest sewing in my house? Exactly. Yeah. Frustration free. Oh, thanks, Ray. Yeah, but you know that I am sure there's been plenty of people that have come in here and been like, oh, they're not a perfectionist. You know, I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not. I may not know the latest and greatest techniques. I don't know all the greatest techniques. I may have learned that technique and then forgot about it. You know, like you guys have reminded me of lots of things. I feel like you shouldn't have to sit down and know exactly what the latest and greatest technique of something is. If you can figure out how to do it, that works because you're sitting there sewing it right now, you know. So you know, if you're otherwise for me, if you like that kind of sewing, like if you're like the process of those kinds of techniques and things, I understand that. Like I love learning new techniques. In fact, I'm taking a quilting class on Sunday. I'm pretty excited about because I'm not a quilter. I'm not interested in making a quilt, but I'm really interested in this technique they use that a lot of people know how to do, and I've just never done it myself. I've seen it done, and I'm like, okay, but I want to do it myself, you know. But when it comes to like, if you're like relaxing and sewing, or you're just like, this sounds like fun, I want to do this, I want better fitting clothes. You don't really want to be intimidated by, like, I wouldn't want that to prevent someone from going and sitting down and sewing in the evening after a long day of work because they're just like, oh, how do I do that again? You know what I mean? Like, if you know how to do it, because remember, all these techniques, they've changed over hundreds and hundreds of years. There's always something new and great. But if you know how to get it done, that's fine. That's all that matters, you know? So, all right, so there's my dart. You press your darts towards the center, so the feathers won't match there. You know, I was thinking about serging this because of it's called I think called foundation paper piecing, Barbara, FPP. It's the Tell Me a Story quilt. I think you're a quilter, aren't you? It's the Tell Me a Story quilt. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Ray, that's pretty cool. I love Threads magazine. Like if you're looking for a really good source and you're visual and you want it printed, Threads magazine is really great. I've learned so much from those magazines when I was a younger sewer. Yeah, right, Barbara? I'm excited. Yeah, she just DM'd me and was like, this class is still happening. I know things are kind of dicey with the fabric store right now and the classes, but the class is still happening. So I'm pretty excited that I'm going to learn how to do it. So, and it could have been for whatever quilt. I just want to know how to do that. And she seems like she does it really well, and she's taught it a lot. So, and I initially picked her class because I was just like, oh, I want to take a class before I teach so I can see what taking a class is like here and how to teach and like good like little things that I may pick up from the teacher. And so then I missed, you guys know that whole thing. I missed the class by accident. So there's a Threads podcast. Oh, that's really cool. So I missed the class by accident, and she was like, you can come to the next one. It's in September. So I'm pretty excited. I'm still going, even though I already taught my class, Yeah. So, all right. So let's see. I need to do the center back seam, and I'm remembering that I don't feel very adept at sewing a vent with a French seam. Don't you love, Malin, how you're like, you're going to be done with that really quick, but I haven't even sewn anything together yet. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can figure this out. I know how to do it. I just don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember. What's the little trick when I get down there? But sometimes I don't know until I start sewing it. It's like when I used to design patterns, well, obviously, but I mean, like when I had a sample maker, I've worked a few places where I had a sample maker. And so I would say, this is what I'm doing. If I didn't know how the pattern piece needed to look, sometimes, oh, thanks for telling me that, Miriam. Yeah. Check the instructions. Yeah, maybe I should check. No, the instructions don't have it for a French seam. They just say finish it however you want. Yeah, so yeah, I would just go to a sample maker and be like, oh, how do you need the pattern pieces to be? And sometimes I would like, this is how I want it to look. And they would show me how they didn't know how to draft the pattern, but they knew how to, they knew what they needed in order to make it look that way. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Malin, there's no instructions at the center back for the, because see, look, they just have it pressed open. Fine if it's knit, you could serge it. I don't want to serge this. Just trying to keep this lined up properly. So here's my vent right here. We may be learning together here. I've looked this up. I've actually looked at different methods on doing it to be like, okay, how does this person do this? But it was when I had just done it and I totally forgot it. That's what I was thinking, Barbara. Hey, Brooke, you just realized I'm live, didn't you? Stop texting me. I can tell Brooke's texting me, but I can't tell what it's about. I just knew that I was live and you guys could hear me, so it wasn't about that. All right, so I feel like one of you knows how to do this. When I get down here, can I just go right up to my vent? Doesn't my machine sound different? Okay, here's my vent. Right. I know, Barbara. I actually did make a bunch of binding just in case. My backstitch right there. All right, so let's just trim off some of these hairs. And we have to iron something today because I added some of the overlays to my iron cam for fun. You know, like I have my logo and the little thing there. Doesn't it look so professional? I love it. This is when I wish I would just get my rotary knife out and do it, you know? I just want to get rid of some of these little hairs. I did like a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. I added seam allowance to be able to do the French seam. So the seams on this come at 3/8 of an inch. So there wasn't enough to hem the seam, like do it, like Barbara, I was actually thinking, oh, what if I just turn it under and hem it? But I don't want a stitch all the way up the back, you know, on either side of the seam. Like, I didn't want that look. My seam looks kind of tight. I don't really like how this is looking so tight. You know? All right, let's go to the iron. Let me turn on the iron. Let me look at this down here. All right, so now next I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be left with that. See, that's what I don't get, is like, I feel like I have to clip this. This is what I've done before. All right, so let's pretend I've sewn this, okay? All right, so now my seam looks like this. And this is my vent. I have to clip this right here. Oh, I've got it tickle. And then that way this will release it and I can turn it to the inside. See, so let me show you better. Let's pretend like it's sewn to right there. You know what I mean? So there's gonna be a little edge that's not finished. I feel like that's not correct. I'm not doing this in a good way. When I saw someone do it, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I know how to do that. And then I've kind of forgotten, you know? Maybe I could sew a little past the opening of the vent and then clip it. Come on, where's all your smart responses? Well, let me iron this. Give you time to Google. You guys are Googling, right? Oh, Brooke. Don't go past the vent. Okay, okay. I'm watching. Press this, oh wait, I can turn my steam back on. Yeah, I feel like every time I do this, I'm like, this is so contrary to what I think I need to do. And then when I see how it's done, I'm like, oh, of course, that's what I'm supposed to do. It's longer than I think it ought to be. Oh, well, I shortened this, Miriam. Yeah, I'm not on the side seams yet, Megan. I'm okay. Don't you like my little iron cam? Isn't he cute? You clipped at an angle down toward the vent. Okay, so you, here, wait, let's iron this. I tied that knot. Okay, let's just push this way real quick so it looks nice. All right, so let's iron this right here. Still doing a French seam here. What I'm trying to do is not anything new or anything impossible. People do this all the time, and I'm a noob. I don't know what I'm doing, apparently. This is, you know, all the years I was doing garment sewing, I had a serger. Now I'm trying to do it without the serger. So I'm trying to remember all these techniques I haven't done in forever. All right, so here we are down here. Okay. Yeah, Miriam, I shortened this quite a bit, like 16 inches. I did leave the vent. It's still long enough. It won't be risque. Okay. So I have I'm ready to sew this. And so here, oh wait, I didn't go all the way down. I thought I did. I actually think I have to clip it. Because see, I need this to be finished. So I was just gonna go past the vent right here, Miriam, and then, see, look at that. I have to clip this right here to get it to be able to flip this way. Well, I don't know if I'm really showing the technique, Louise. I'm kind of, I can't remember, I can never remember how to do this. Miriam's like wearing this dress and she's trying to look at what she sewed, but she's wearing it. I have so done that before. Okay, so, see, once I clip it, it's kind of like YOLO, right? I can't go back. And that's what I did on that Rita shirt dress. I clipped it, remember? Because it has side vents, and I used French seam. Okay, so is it kind of like awkward right there, Miriam? Is it a little puckery? She says she didn't clip it. She just spread the seam and stitched it down around the top of the vent. But you use the French seam? Yeah, exactly, Louise. That's why I'm trying to avoid that. Yeah, because of the French seam, I really think... Yeah, she's sitting on the vent mullen, exactly. She's like sitting there like... She says, I'm twisting her, I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah. So that's why I'm always trying to figure this out. So let's just sew this seam. I won't clip anything yet, right? We're not in the YOLO club yet. But I get there quick. I go from 0 to YOLO pretty quickly. I'm like, YOLO, let's do it. I don't feel very good at sewing rayon, you guys, and I sew a lot of it, you know? I like the way it drapes. I feel like it's very forgiving for sizing issues. It's comfortable. It can be a little stinky. Yeah, okay, Miriam. Yeah. Same sentiment. The YOLO. Okay, I'm getting here. All right, so I'm gonna get down here. And I'm gonna go just past where I sewed. I don't know why. I just feel like I should. Okay, so here we go. So on the outside, this is what it looks like. Right? We just got our seam. Then we need our vent. So on the outside, it's gonna be fine no matter what I do. I just am trying to figure out, like, is there a way for me to do the inside without clipping it? And remember, when you have a French seam, you can press it to one side, but you can't press the seam open, right? And this kind of vent isn't the kind of vent, I don't think, that you press to one side, so it's lapped, you know? If it were lapped, that would be a different story. Maybe you could even hem this way, and then this one this way, and it would be like that, you know? Come on, tell me. But, you know, in their picture, it's pressed open like this. Okay. I mean, I could pull up the computer. We could Google this together. Really, Megan? He'll get over it. He doesn't realize that someone our age invented those expressions. Yeah, Ray. Yours is lapped by 1/4 inch. So if I just clipped it, you know, it would be fine. But see, I'm still going to have this little raw edge, right? Here, let's iron this a little bit more. You think I have to clip one side? Yeah, see, Louise, I think one side minimum too. I think you're right. What would Nancy say? Okay, so see the seam line is right here. It's about 3/4 of an inch in, right? So let's just press along here. We're just pretending right now. We're just looking for the seam line, right? Okay. You know what I mean? So Nancy, you did something more like this, right? Yeah. Google it. Google it, right? Side seam with French seams and slips. All right, okay. So just tell me how to do it. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. I like them lapped as well. Yeah. I can't pull up that link. Let's see, I haven't looked at, let's see if I can see my computer here. Here we go. Sorry. How do I do this again? Me and my computer. Oh, here we go. Right? Okay. I need my keyboard. Let's look at the cashmere one. It's probably is a safe bet. I don't want a video. I don't think I could play a video and okay. Press the seam and fold the seam right sides together. Gosh, I can barely see what's going on that. Sew down the side seam in 1/4. All right, so right there, okay. I can't see the chat, you guys, just so you know. I can try and pull it up, let's see. Okay. She clips it. Okay, I'm trying to get, I feel like this is possible without clipping it. Finish the slip by trying that. Ah, okay. I know how to do that. You know what I mean? House of Mirrors, I know, it's kind of crazy. Well, you know. The first time I saw a streamer do that, I was like, what just happened? It's not going to unravel past the point of, you know, it's not going to be bad. I just really thought there was a way. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking it. Like, this is already raw, right? This is already raw. Okay, I already know I'm going to get like 3 comments on this video with people telling me how to do this. And 2 of them are going to be wrong because they're going to think they know what they're doing. Tell me, and I'm going to be like, that doesn't work though. You guys don't read my comments. I loved the comments during the giveaway though. And I loved when you guys would talk to each other. It was really cute. I loved it. So, yeah. So I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to hem around this edge, right? like this. Okay, so here I get to my hem like this. I get up here and I could just leave it like that and go across it, or I could clip it. So yeah, little raw edges, exactly. Exactly. All right, so I just really don't think I like doing it on the bias. That's a good idea. Try that. Just continue this. See if I can do the minimum here. No, I need to do one more. YOLO! All right, so let's finish this. Let's sew this thing. All right. So if you were doing knit, theoretically, you probably, like, knits don't fray mostly, you know? Right, Miriam? Exactly. Yeah, see, exactly, Barbara. I feel like you have to clip it, even if it's just once. And I'm going to go for just like making this centered and flat. And then I'm going to also reinforce the top. Right now I'm just going to go across like this at a right angle. I'll show you, I don't know if you guys can see very well, but I will show you better. Just a second. Oh, I just don't think I caught that, but we'll see. I'm going to reinforce it as Miriam suggested that. I interfaced my ties because Nancy suggested that. But I only interfaced half because I don't have a lightweight. I didn't have enough of a lightweight interfacing. Oh yeah, I thought I did miss that. Get under there. I'm just looking right here. What's going on right here? Why won't it stay folded under? My needle fell off, that's why. At the pivot point. There we go. Megan is like, nope. Everything he finds says to clip it. All right. All right. You know, I'm really failing at this hem right now. I think you could face it. Or like Barbara said, we could bind it, you know? I would really like to have like a sewing experiments stream. I love figuring that kind of stuff out, you know? But then when I like go to do that, I'm like, what do I want to figure out? So, Megan. Miriam said about the same on Twitch. Okay, so this is what I ended up with. On the outside, it looks okay except I got a little off center right there. But I think I'm going to go across this and reinforce it. And I'm not going to worry about the outside look or the inside looks like. I'm just going to focus on the outside. I could have sewed this better, you guys. I say that a lot, but I really could have. I'm just going to sew kind of a narrow rectangle at the top of it just to reinforce it. It's weird how, you know, we wear pants with side seams all the time, and then we wear something with a slit, which is basically just a side seam that's open. There would be no strain on it ever. You feel like there's no strain on it, and then it starts splitting, you know? My back tack thread is getting in the way, and that's really annoying me. It's making it look all messy. You know what I mean? Like, I noticed that on these pockets. The dress is not going to unravel. Here, I mean, the Miriam's pretty spicy, Ray. If you chat in her thing, her chat rules are pretty funny. Oh, I'm going to raid her later if she's streaming. You'll see if you try and chat. It'll say what you have to do if you're chatting in her chat. It's cute. Yeah, I mean, for the record, in real life, I don't have the, I cuss. Yeah, exactly, Mary. Yeah, exactly. A little square with the X in it. I'm just kind of failing all the way around right now, Nancy, and I'm kind of comfortable with it. All right. Let's remove all these threads here. And let's just do our shoulder seams so we can actually sew this thing together. So I added a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance extra to my shoulder so I could do French seams here as well. So if you're doing knits, knits don't fray. You really don't need to finish knits. There's just something about it that it feels wrong to a lot of us to leave them unfinished. But, like people are like, oh, you zigzag. You really just need to zigzag wovens. That's awesome, Nancy. Great, thanks. I'm having a weird week, you guys. I'm kind of just in that, all right, whatever happens, happens, Did I just do the wrong shoulder? I actually double checked. Oh, no, I didn't. That's why you're banned from Xbox. Oh, my God. Let me tell you, Megan, I played with the people for a long time before they had any idea how old I was. And it was when I met someone like almost the same age as me that I copped to it. I never lied. I just didn't say. They would be like, Sammy has that like older woman vibe. Like she just seems like she knows things. That's what they would say. And I'm like, yeah, I know things, And then, yeah, I said something like, oh, I'm the same age as him. And they were like, nuh-uh. Yeah. But I literally wouldn't know some of the things they would be saying. I'm like, I don't know that saying. What is that? And that should have given it away, Okay. Yeah, I know I should be pressing these. It's such a short little seam, though. I feel pretty good getting it finger pressed and then finishing it. So if you're doing the woven version of this, you can choose to finish your armhole and neck with binding or with narrow hems. I cut binding just in case, I think she's banned by her son. She wasn't banned from a chat or anything. Oh, see, I think I didn't mark the notch for the... Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. I don't think I marked the notch, the sewing stop line. What was I doing yesterday, you guys? I am telling you, I'm out of it this week. You use bias tape? Yeah. Really, Lisa? They just came out with a new one. People are really into it. Oh, see, Megan, he's not on a sub account. He's on an actual account. That was pretty generous of you. I'm always surprised these kids are not on sub accounts because you can control some stuff on sub accounts. But he's not going to let you change it now. You can't. He'd have to start over. He'd lose everything. Yeah. What's wrong, Nancy? Where are you going? Wait. You're having oh, your mother's going to, I'm sorry. It's a good thing, but yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've mentioned it to you guys, but my husband takes care of his grandmother, who's not even his grandmother by blood. And she's 95 or 96, and we moved her here, and man, it's kind of crazy. So I feel for you, Nancy. It's you deal with things you just are like, oh, I have to deal with this, you know? Ooh, I want this to get stretched out. Yeah, like, she's got very serious rheumatoid arthritis, lived a really healthy life, hasn't had anything, like any crazy diseases or cancers or anything. Like, she's really escaped a lot. She's also German, not Jewish, but she did escape the war, came over on the Berlin airlift, and she wouldn't take pain relievers for her rheumatoid arthritis. Right now I'm just checking that my notches are the same on the both sides, so that I get them symmetrical. And then she really did need to take them, so she started taking them. She'd had them for years. What is going on here? And but you know, because of the rheumatoid arthritis, like, she has very little dexterity. She's almost deaf. She's almost blind. And we've been cutting her painkiller in half, and now all of a sudden there's a lot of them gone, and no one's taking them, and like stealing them, and because she's taking the full size ones. It's just like the whole thing. And now now her doctor is like, I'm sorry, I can't prescribe these anymore. I need to refer you. And the person she referred us to doesn't do that either. And now it's like, she's 97. Like, she was like, I don't ever want to take those. I don't want to be addicted to those. And we were like, you know, I don't think you have to worry about that at your age. We're going for comfort and pain-free right now. So, you know, it's up to you. I cannot see at all where I marked this. And, right, yeah. Oh, because this is the front. That's why I just marked the back. And now there's no way you could just cut her off. You know, I mean, she is kind of addicted. So, oh, that's great, Nancy. I'm really glad you have some support. That's huge. Even when it's hard, and it's hard for all of you, I'm really glad at least you have each other to talk about it with, because none of it is easy, no matter how hard you try to make it all easy, you know, and straightforward. Things change so often. All right, you guys. I shouldn't have just been like, I'm going to try and take my time on this. It's right in here. Okay, there it is. Okay. I'm trying to make very little marks. All right. My hands are even shaking. How weird. Okay. I'm going to mark these with my little clip here so I can see it better. I feel like I'm having one of those days that I look like a beginner. No, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's yeah. What can we do? We don't live in a society where we live with our elders. You know, a lot of us are like, I don't want to do that. Oh, you're taking your cats? What will your dogs think? That's nice of you. Like, for me, I'll always have pets, and if I knew someone was gonna take care of, that would make me feel, that would be right there for me, the only thing that would matter at that age. You know, making sure that my pets are taken care of. Okay, so just like this is because of the rayon and because this is all in the bias right here, it is like, it wants to really stretch out. Did you guys have any issues with this stretching out right here, or relaxing too much? Miriam or Nancy? Yeah, exactly, Nancy. I know. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, yeah, we, and I it's like, My closest friends know how I feel about her. She's never been very nice to me at all. Like, she's been really mean to me. She's not now, but she would be if I were there a lot. And so for me, she's not a nice person. She never has been. And for me, I had to really mentally get my head around the fact that it's like, you know what? It's not my responsibility. And you have kind of made this situation where no one really wants to be around you because you're kind of horrid to everybody. She really is, you know? So, and she says some things. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that out loud, you know? So it's a crazy thing. My husband's the nicest guy. She's a good grandson. And his brother doesn't live anywhere close. Look at this. It's like, I feel like it's going to stretch out. I'm kind of worried about it. It really wants to. I don't think a stay stitch, though, would be the greatest fit. I don't know. Try and keep it all together. My machine has a pin feed and it kind of helps. Oh, interesting. Pin feed. What's a pin feed? Right, Megan, I know. We recently, I think when we moved her here, the German government, she has a pension. Germany pays people until they give them like a pension, and somehow they must have lost track of her when we moved her here like 7 years ago or 6 years ago, and we just had to prove she was alive. It was kind of a funny experience. We just realized, oh, you haven't been getting your German pension. All right, so this is the side seam. It's a 3/8 inch seam allowance. I did not change the seam allowance because I'm not doing a French seam because that wouldn't. It doesn't need it because it's like a flat. Like a random video. What? Oh, you tried not too hard to fuss it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Megan. Yeah. Pin feed. I've heard of needle feed. I almost got one of those, but that's a little overkill for what I'm doing now with clothing. All right, so trying not to. I don't want to hold it up and let it hang down because I don't want it to stretch out. You know? So this, you start this seam into the armhole up here. Like I said, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And then it leaves the armhole and the neckline and the hems left, and that's it. So this is kind of the money shot right here. This is when it all, oh, my ties! Megan! It's Megan's fault. Okay, I'm gonna sew a little bit. I'm gonna get to there, and then I'm gonna go sew my ties. Good thing I started talking about like, oh yeah, this is when it all comes together. Except if you don't have ties, you don't have anything. Well, Megan reminded me a while ago, and I was like, hey, I'm not there yet. I made mine much longer, almost 60 inches, I think we decided. I only interfaced half, and that's because my interfacing, I don't have enough of lightweight. Ooh, why is it doing that? My interfacing isn't perfectly centered, maybe. I kind of want to start on the other side now. Yeah, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna go by the line of the interfacing. I was actually really, I know you told me before. Yeah. So, I know, I saw her. That's why I was like, wait, where is she now? So I was really careful about cutting my ties. Like after I wanted to add the, I'll answer your question in just a second, Ray. Okay, I'm trying to figure out a good way to do this right now because I want this to be straight. So I only interfaced half because, like I said, I don't have enough lightweight interfacing. And then while it was on my table with the big grid, I laid my ties out, relaxed them, and got them straight. And then I just trimmed anything that was over the 3-inch mark. And so now, even like I'm, you know, look at that. So I kind of want to just fold it on this edge where the interfacing is and sew it like that. Rather than lining up these edges here, I'm going to line it up on the fold line because that's what it wants to do. I may as well not bite this. This is almost exactly the width it'll end up being. So I'm not really changing anything, in other words. I'm trying to decide right now what's the best way to do it. You know, I don't want to iron it, but I'm getting close. You know? So once I had my interfacing on there, I double checked my pieces so that they were square and consistent. Doesn't mean that it's not still going to be a little funny. That's why I did it, because I was like, oh yeah, this has the potential to be really funny. Let's see how I did there. Let's look at that. So I'm going to pay attention to where the interfacing is rather than anything else, because also these are really long and I don't want them to torque. So I'm going to kind of hold them in a few different places and try and keep it. I'm also doing it from the interfacing side because the underside is behaving way better when I do. And then, Ray, the reason we don't need French seams on the side seams is because the front and the back make a big flap. Yeah, exactly, Nancy. It won't matter too much, but I don't want it to be torquing. So that's really, because of this kind of stout interfacing, I'm trying to give it back a little bit of its drapiness. You know? I may have to sew this again. I'm hoping I'm catching it. So when I went to iron it, it probably shrank a little bit more, the fabric. And that's why the interfacing is all on one side and the other side, because I cut the interfacing down the middle. So what I did was I made, that was the worst back tack ever right there. I made the tie, the interfacing piece. I made one tie the interfacing piece. How do I say this? For my interfacing, I cut out one tie completely in interfacing, and then I cut it down the middle so that it would be equally half. So one of those pieces would go here, one half would go the other. That's the way I wanted to make sure. And then I made sure like it was all trued up, you know? But then when I go to iron it, see, it shrinks a little bit in width. So I'm just going to go through here and make sure. I'm actually going to run another stitching line and make sure that I'm doing it straight this time. This will make it easier. So what I could do, I'm going to go on this side maybe. Let's see. I want to use one of these lines here. So let's see. I'm going to line it up with this 3/4 mark. Think that will work. Because this is the width that matters to me right now. So I'm just going to look at this fold and make sure it stays over there. So I get a nice straight tie. Ooh, it really wants to pull over there. Now, if you have a really lightweight interfacing and you're using a rayon, I would recommend interfacing the whole thing. It'll be a lot easier to handle, a lot easier to keep accurate. I'm kind of pushing the fabric this way so it doesn't get torqued. I'm going to trim off this weird seam I have going on. And no one will ever know that I was a little bit struggling to get it straight. Plus I made it a lot longer, right? So, yeah. No twerking. We need twerking. Exactly. All right. I made really long ties. The ones in the pattern were 44 inches each. I went for 60. I don't get to keep this dress. This goes to Heart, so hopefully they like it. I like the option of going around your waist twice, and I wasn't quite sure I could do that with two 44s, even though the wrap almost meets in the center front, you know. All right. So at least, even though I have all the stitching and these weird edges, I have a nice, even width tie. That's my main goal. Because I cut my interfacing to be exactly half the width. But the fabric shrank differently when I ironed it, where it was interfaced and where it wasn't interfaced. Oh, cool. You left your selvage edge at the bottom of your strap so they have fringe. That's cute. I can't wait to see yours. All right, so what did I do? I do it from this side, right? All right. Do it from the interfacing side. Line up my edge. And then this time I'm going to try and get it. Oh no, I can't do it right now. I do need this first seam like this. I was all excited to do the finishing. I was like, oh yeah, the straps. I don't know, Nancy. They might sell them like on a sample rack or something. I know some of the employees can, you know, like wear it for the day probably, you know. They're pretty fun over there. They're just so cool. You know what I mean? Oh, what is going on here? Something's going on here. Look at that. See that? I cut this exactly half the width of this. They can make big bows, yeah. That'd be cute. Oh, are you starting to like this, Megan? Is that what I hear? Are you starting to like this? You like bows? You know me, I like to poke the bear. And get this back on track. I'm definitely not on my game, but I'm comfortable with that right now. What a weird week. I keep hoping the police are going to be like, here's your wallet. I'll be like, great, thank you. I'm living in a fantasy life. You know. Bear poking comments as well. All right, so let's hold it a little bit firmer. I actually left that little piece to remind me that when I was cutting it, the blade went away from my ruler right there. Like I wasn't pressing against the ruler very well. So that is partly why it didn't make it. I did that so I would remember, oh, it's a little shallow right here. You're going to have some issues. And I did, you know. Hoping I'm catching it. Looks like I am. I'm trying to stay on this fold edge here. I got that other loop turner, but I never got it to work the other day. Maybe I'll try it on this one, you know? I did use my seam ripper. Thank goodness we have seam rippers. Did I do it? How to do this? Like this? Yeah, okay. So then I line it up with the 3/4 mark, and this is how I'm gonna get it nice and even. Really, Louise? That gives me hope. I want the wall back. I really liked it. And my daughter's first drawings of me and my husband are in it. And an old picture of him. And then my driver's license. Because I don't like the idea of my driver's license being out there in the world with my information on it. Like, I don't even like the idea that my business cards were in there. You know? Like, I keep expecting some weirdo to pop in our stream. You know? I'm not a very paranoid person, but I don't know. Feels weird because I live a mile away. I'm really close. Oh, that's so nice, Polly. I feel like my town right now is at the like nice, like, we've been through a lot with the fire and everything, and there are so many people going out of their way to be kind to each other. I mean, obviously this wasn't a good example, but there's also a lot of people, extra people, even more than usual, really struggling right now here. And so my heart goes out to this kid, you know? Like, I wouldn't even press charges, honestly. I just want it back, you know? All right, should we try that other, since we're dragging this out? This thing? I feel like I've got to use this. So there's 3 sizes. And someone at the shop was like, this thing works great. All right, I should have opened this way. There we go. I usually use this with a little doohickey. So place any tube all the way inside. See, this is the thing, is like, oh, I can't use this. It's closed with the other end. The red, white, and blue. Wait. Yeah, I think, yeah. Oh, wow, Barbara, that's amazing. That's really cool. So this this works good, and it's sewn closed at the other end, so I kind of need this style. So just poke it through. I like to poke it through stitches. I don't poke the little latch through. I just poke the hook through. If you're using really fine fabrics or delicate fabrics or special fabrics, you might use a different method. This can sometimes leave a little hole, and I can usually iron it out. It's no problem. But it works really good. You just don't want it to come unhooked, so you need to keep pressure on it. Like right now, I got a little bit bound up right here, so I'm gonna hold this. When you get too much down here, you gotta back it off a little bit. Like that. This is really long, so it's easy for that to happen, but rayon turns really easily. What I would really like now is to be I'm gonna slide all this up and then get rid of this. And now I can hold on to this. this makes it a lot easier, you know. Drink sounds very nice. Yeah, I'm right on a creek bed too, so I actually walked it. I walked a little bit up because someone said, "Oh no, this parking lot isn't a dead end. There's a spot in the fence," and so I went and checked it out. So I'm not really timid when it comes to going up to people. I mean, I am in one level, but I'm not like this. I'm not going to show that I'm afraid. I would have just been like, "Yo, come a while back." You know, I would have just walked up to him. I wasn't worried about violence or anything like that. And I started walking out there, and the guys were like, "Do you want us to come with you?" And I'm like, "I don't care. I mean, you can if you want," and none of them came. They just let me do it. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go see." Okay. Let's iron these. Wish I had a, what do I have? Should have made this wide so I could stick this in here and iron it. You know, I'm gonna iron this. Where's my iron cam? There we go. Iron cam! Alright, poke out my corners. I can do this a little bit later too. And then I'm gonna try and iron it out nice and flat. I'm gonna focus on the seam edge. She carries a metal bat in her car. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could do. I mean, I don't think, like, I didn't know this was happening in the moment. You know what I mean? And I don't think that I would have done that, but I would have definitely, like, if I saw him doing that, I'd been like, "What are you doing?" I actually jumped in my truck to go find him, and I was like, "What am I doing? What am I gonna do if I find him?" I mean, I have how many cameras in here, and none of it was caught, you know, on film. Kind of funny. I shouldn't have been relaxed sewing this. I should have just done it so that we were almost done now, huh? Sorry, guys. But I feel like it would be a good idea to sew one of these and knit to just see how the, kind of like how the other half lives, you know what I mean? Like, see, like, oh, okay. It's a totally different boat. Like, I saw some reviews that people were like, "This took me way too long to sew," and it was the knit version that they did. And then they said, "I feel like it's me doing the knit because I don't know why that is. I think they just felt like their fabric was a little bit loosey-goosey, you know? That kind of fabric that just, some of those knits that are just so hard to handle." They said it turned out nice, but I saw a couple people say that. I don't know, Megan. I was just thinking that too. Like, I feel like my tie is a good example of why you'd probably want to interface the whole thing. They suggest only half if it's not very lightweight. I wouldn't normally. Look at the feather on there, it's pretty cool. But it does seem like a completely different animal when you sew the knit version. You like doing the vent with knit. To think about that. especially if you're not using cover stitch, which I don't think you would want to, because the armhole isn't it's a closed loop, but it's not a start and stop closed loop like there, you know, like the side seam goes into the armhole. Hence why we don't really need to do the French seam. It's so tucked in there. This is something I would probably do after I was done sewing. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to iron this. But it's so nice when you're done sewing and everything's ready to go. I really like that. That's why, like, when I do knits, I do it all. Like, I go all the way. I finish all the seams. I do it right away. I weave in all the ends so that when it's done, you know? It's not sitting on a shelf waiting for one thing or two things, or I'm wearing it with it. I just really want it to be done. I weave in some of the ends as I go. Oh, I just saw a sweater that a quilter knits posted. I was like, huh, I might knit. That says on size 10 needles. It doesn't even look like it's on size 10 needles. And it goes pretty quick and it's kind of lacy. I liked it. I'm contemplating. Yeah, right, Barbara? I don't like this either. This is boring. It's boring and awkward. It never feels that great when you're doing this, you know? It seems like such a simple step and it'll be really satisfying, and then you go to do it and you're like, this kind of isn't very fun. I feel like, oh, I'm not doing a very good job, you know, like I can't get it quite on the edge, it's a little fussy. It just makes me not feel very good doing this type of ironing. I think because I was pretty accurate on all my cutting though and my sewing, that it's laying really nicely though, you know? It looks really good. It's one of my better ties for sure. And yeah, it takes so much time. Exactly. All right. This one needs one right here. It's just the raw edge. This is the raw edge right here. I always put my tie in with the seam pointing down. And I'm gonna line it up at the top here. There's actually, it just says tie on my pattern. So I'm going to, I'm gonna rethread my needle. This lightweight thread is, I don't like lightweight thread now. You know, I like the heavyweight. It's a little easier to thread. It stays in there. It's not so fly away. This feels kind of fly away. All right, here we go. I'm gonna continue this seam now. Get this in here, line it up at the 3/8 inch mark, like that. I don't want to accidentally catch my tie. Can you see that? That's what I was gonna do, Nancy. I don't have one this width. That's a great idea though. I like that. It makes it kind of fun and easy. All right, I'm gonna get it lined up there. Okay. I don't know. I feel like backstitching over that. It is a point of stress, you know? All right, let's get our side seam all lined up here. And then we'll insert our tie on the other side, and then we're hemming. And then we're hemming. So, Nancy, are you gonna make a knit one as your next one? Because you said you want to make another one. I think you told me what fabric you're using yesterday. I love the way yours looked on you. It looks really cute. And again, the shoulders looked narrow, and I like that look. I like that kind of fake halter. You know, I like it when the shoulders are kind of, it's flattering. I have very broad shoulders, they're straight across, so that's kind of flattering on me. All right, so there's a little shape at the hem here. I did mention it on the other side, but that is where your hem gets folded up. That. Get rid of this little thread here. And I'm gonna cut this corner right there. I'm not sure if this really needs clipping right there. It's not a big curve, not a sharp curve. Oh, this is missing river, okay. Okay, so let's poke in the thing. Did you see Sarami in her Takara? What's the Takara, Brookie? Are you in my, you're in my stream. Are you trying to talk to Miriam and hers? Is she streaming now? Wait, who's that? No. Oh, the next one is rayon? Oh, okay. Oh, the stripe, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. What's my Takara, Brooke? She asked Miriam if she's seen me in my Takara. In my tiara? Are you guys Downton Abbey fans? I haven't been to the movies in a while, but that sounds so nice right now just to go to the movies and watch Downton Abbey. It's the Seamwork Cocoon Knit Dress is the Takara, Miriam? I don't have that. All right, let's turn this right side out. Okay. So there we go, there's our tie right there. And then, did you guys top stitch this? Yeah, so let's see. See? Okay. Is it what? Does it come out this weekend, Nancy? Oh, Miriam, that's what you're making. Wait, what? I'm confused. All right, let's look at these hems. Okay, so here you go. So now, remember we went into the armhole for that seam. You see that? So now we're left with this right here. So this is why you can hem this very narrow part right there. Or you can bind it. Binding it would be a little awkward too because you do need to go into the seam. So the seam, the armhole is not a round armhole, it's a slit. Yeah, exactly, Nancy, I know. Okay, so I'm going to, this is a lot of dress. I'm gonna, can you imagine I cut 16 inches off of it too. I'm gonna turn it inside out because it'll be, I think, what is this long string? A little easier to hem. Maybe not. It came out today? You're so lost, Megan, I know, me too. I'm so lost in this dress. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, so here's my shoulder seam right here. Here's the side seam. The dark gets pressed down. So I'm gonna start this like right here and I'm gonna do a very skinny seam. like this. I looked at this, but I didn't look at how they handle this spot right here. So I'm just gonna start it and then keep going. And then when I get there, I'm gonna check it out. So I'm just gonna do a really narrow hem. I feel like for once, it might be the good option for rather than binding. I don't want this to get stretched out though. That is a little bit on my mind. Binding would kind of could go either way. It could help that, it could hurt that, depending on how you attach your binding. All right, Miriam, I'll let you know. Yeah, I am on the last few steps, but taking my sweet time today for some reason. You're not streaming Saturday, Miriam? You do it on, is it Monday or Tuesday, and then Thursday, Friday, right? It kind of an X at the underarm. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Megan. I do have it pinned to the back neck, so I don't forget it. That's the only way I can remember to do that. I got so good at it with chicken boots, but on my own clothing, it's not happening lately. All right, so this needs to go down like this. Towards the dart does. I'll say more when I get there. I'm just telling myself that and pinning it that way. So when you get to this, you want to press this dart, which is a little bouncy. Like I should have pressed. I thought I pressed my darts. Did I not? So let's finger press our darts here. Make this a little flatter here. And then we want this to line up with the armhole a little better. And I think I'm gonna trim that, you see, right here. Should have done this before I started the hemming. If anything, making it a little shallower than flush will be easier. Not Saturday. Monday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, I know I had the Monday or Tuesday, right, and the Friday part. Saturday, I'm just gonna, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna probably just chill, stream and chill. You know, like, I might try and figure out this old pattern I have, because I haven't sewn it in a really long time, and it might be fun to have it as a free pattern for people. This cherry pie pin cushion. There's so much work goes into making the pattern able to be downloaded though. So I'm a little nervous about that. Bye, you guys. Good night, Malin. Sleep well. Bye, Nancy. Have a good rest of your day. Feed those dogs. All right, so I'm gonna go across the bottom like this. All right. Maybe I should look at the instructions. So I just did a little, almost like I treated the armhole like a vent. And also this is like the Amelia dress, you know? For the armhole. The armhole is a slit like that. Could stand depressing. See that? But then this will come out like this. Like this. So you see that? There's the tie like that. And we're going to press all that. There's a lot of pressing in this one. I may not do it all on camera so we can shorten this video a little bit. Good night, Race. I'll see you soon. You're telling me I'm boring. Is that right? I'm just teasing. That's been happening to me a lot lately. I think I'm just a little fatigued. I'm like, oh, I'm getting sleepy. How weird. All right, this time I'm going to start with the back stitch. I feel a little more confident. I'm really glad my needle didn't just come unthreaded just now. Oh, let's trim this up a little bit. Shallower is better so that when you fold it, you know, it doesn't poke out. This is why we need music, you guys. I'll figure it out one of these days. I'm just happy I figured out the overlays. I was like, oh, I want to do this. I just want to design little overlays and stuff. This is fun. I don't know what to do, but I know how to do it now. All right. And then the neckline, I'll do the same, I think. I don't think it's a steep enough curve that I'll need to use bias, but I'll double check. I will admit, I'm not the best at rolled hems, you guys. That's awesome, right? I don't wake up well in it from naps. And when I fly, like really long flights, I can't sleep on the plane. My family can fall asleep almost instantly. And they can hit the ground running. Maybe not Cricket so much. But my husband's really good at it. And me, I'm like, oh yeah, I slept for 2 hours on the plane. And I have to stay awake until it's bedtime so we get onto the, right time zone. I've definitely been falling asleep at some of the best parts of my vacations, I'm not sure why this pattern, I mean, I kind of know why this pattern works as knit or woven. I still think it would be better to draft a separate pattern, It's not a traditional silhouette for a knit. So in a way that's kind of cool because I kind of like knits that are more structured because then you get the comfort of the knit but the structure and fit of a woven, Okay, let's see how our neck looks. That looked okay. See that? I get a little bit of... My tension feels a little tight. I think that's what it is. Really, Eileen? No, I don't really feel like I'm that great at rolled hems. Not on this kind of fabric. Yeah, right? Right, Megan? Yeah, but on the other things I rolled hem, they were like cottons. I can do that, as long as it's cut on grain well, Yeah, you get your sleep, Ray. This is pretty narrow. I am right. Okay. So let's see. Let me look at this neckline. I just don't want to stretch out this armhole. It's not a big armhole in that it is deep, though, Megan. It cuts in. So I'm hoping it's against my body. It's going to be an awkward home sew catwalk if... Yeah, Eileen, I know what you mean. I feel like that just comes with practice, like learning how to handle the fabric and just let it do what it wants, but still kind of like, finesse it a little bit. That just takes practice. I'm not sure about doing a rolled hem on the neckline. I don't think I could do that very well. Let's do some bias on the neckline. That way, at least we have a little bit of both. And, maybe that one person out there who wants a bias finish, maybe we can help them out a little bit. Let's piece together the binding. I made some that's just 1 inch wide. I think this is a big enough piece, too. Fabric choice is always key, yeah. And this is where I need to remember to put my label. Now, let's see. Which way did I push? Did I push my center back seam any direction? Kind of that way. Let's press it this way. I'm going to tack this on here. I'm going to tack it right here. Like that. My seam allowance on my label is kind of shallow right here, you know? Yeah, Megan, I'm still not that fond of that look, you know? All right, so this, you have to sew this right sides together if you want it to go to the inside. Oh, but I was just lining that up. That's okay, that's okay. Actually, this works, this works. Okay. I'm gonna do 1/4 inch seam. I'm not gonna pull my binding. In my videos, I always pull my binding a little bit, but when it's bias that goes to the inside of the garment, I don't really pull it. I think I pushed the seam allowance on the shoulder the wrong way, but I'm gonna stay consistent with the armhole now so that I don't get a twisted shoulder seam. I should have also turned this inside out to do this, but it's such a big dress and I'm not going to be sewing for very much. I'm pretty sure I won't accidentally catch the dress underneath it. I'm going to just leave it right side out. I'm also pushing the dress a little bit, like keeping it nice and relaxed. Don't want to stretch it out. There's a lot on the bias on this neckline. And it would be easy, like I'm a puller when I sew, you know? I pull things. I'm notorious for it. You know? I'd be like, oh, here you go, Ryan. Sew this is the seam allowance, blah, blah, blah. And she'd be like, this, you know, she'd get it to work perfect. I'm like, hey, yours comes out better than mine. And then I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm pulling the heck out of mine. But she also will use, she used to use like really narrow, I couldn't believe it. She could do 1/8 inch seam allowances accurately. Most people have a hard time going down to 1/4. And I had to get her always to go up to 1/4. It was really funny. I didn't do so well right there at the shoulder seam. And you can see, like, if you pull your bias, it gets narrower, right? So you don't, you know, don't want to do that. If it were straddling the edge of the neckline, I'd say pull it. Like if you were bias edging it, you know? Yeah, right? Yeah, I could show. I have shown how to draft a facing before, Eileen, but I'm happy to. Basically, it's just a parallel line. So you would just basically trace off your neckline or your armhole and draw an even and parallel line, the width that you want your facing plus the seam allowance. Now, if your facing is going to hang free, you don't need seam allowance on the free edge, but and if you're drafting it to where you're just tracing it on the neckline, there's seam allowance on the neckline edge already, right? So typically I always made facings about 2 inches wide, the actual pattern piece, so then there would be nothing on the outer edge, the free edge, and then the neckline edge was 1/4 inch. This one you might want a much narrower one, like you could do 1.5 or 1 inch, and then you can even stitch it down like we're going to do with the binding. You could treat the facing kind of like binding, like sew it the same way in a way, but it's a facing that's nice and shaped, and that is a nice finish. You'll get a nicer finish. I wish I would have thought of doing that before, Eileen, when I cut it out yesterday. That would have been a really good thing to do. Sorry, I didn't even think of it. The reason the facing would be a nicer finish is that the facing is going to lay nice and flat because it's the exact same contour as the neckline. Doing a facing on the armhole would be a little tricky, but it's totally possible. You would just have to figure out how to deal with that juncture at the underarm. But on the neckline, facing would be great. It would lay flatter because the danger you have with doing binding like this that goes to the inside is that it can stretch out the edge a little bit and make it lift up a little bit, you know? You know, you've seen that. So right now I'm actually going, I'm just clipping this whole long edge because remember, like this piece right here is going to sew to the inside, and where this edge lands is, that piece is shorter than where it's going to land. So we're asking it to do a lot. So when we're going to try and relax this neckline as much as we can. And we don't want to really clip that edge. Clip it so that it spreads out and relax. But it, if you, oh, I just lost my train of thought because I read a comment. Oh man, yeah. So you just want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success with this kind of binding, because it is a little bit finickier. It's not. It works great, but I don't know. It's not my favorite finish, you know. Yeah, you could do a miter point, but the thing is, you can't make that juncture in the underarm too heavy because it is also where the wrap is and comes out. So now I'm gonna understitch mine. This will make the bias a little easier to handle. It'll also make it want to lay to the inside. I'm having trouble seeing my seam line because of the feathers. Like, I think I started thinking a feather, little wisp of feather was the seam line. So, yeah, so, I feel like a facing would be nice on like the 100 acts of sewing necklines when they come with binding, you know? Because then it's the same exact contour. That helps, you know? I may be sewing over my face. We'll see. Yeah, I think I might be sewing over my face. See, this is what I don't like about my new labels, is the seam allowance is a little too skint right there. Yeah, facings would be nice on that, right, Miriam? Because that's the one thing I kind of struggled with when I did my first one. And I ended up doing contrast binding, and I just ended up letting a little bit of it peek out from the edge. I didn't understitch it. So it was like a contrast tip, and it looked intentional. But it was really that I just couldn't get it to lay that flat, and I wasn't very happy with it. I think back then I was still so pulling my binding. I was so used to that I probably tugged it without even knowing, you know? And I just didn't really set myself up that great. I'm going to start and stop at on my shoulder. I like starting and stopping on the shoulders. I think that it's going to be a little bit of a hot mess when I get to my label right now. The Headless Sewist. That would have been a good title. It's a good stream name, right? Headless Sewist. That'd get people in there. I just did an FBA for the first time the other day, Miriam. I did it on the Scout Tee video. I didn't even use one on mine. But I wanted to know like how to draft those and show how to draft those, so I did one on camera. Those are so fun to do. Like I love slashing and spreading. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, Eileen. I mean, like, probably just adding a little tip of ribbon or something. Lately, I've just been trying to get it so that the seam line lined up with where my seam line's going. Good night, Louise. Sleep well. Thanks for coming. Nice to see you. So, like, one of the things my hands are doing, like, when I'm turning this right now is, I don't know if you see me do this, but what I'm trying to do is get the fabric to relax and lay where it wants to in relation to that. Because look at that. You can really manipulate this edge right here and end up with some torquing. So I'm trying to prevent any wrinkles on my binding, because that's really common with, like, this style of binding with rayon. Like, it is definitely setting itself up for some challenges. Oh man, this label. I should have just put it in the center back seam. There goes my face. Can I get this narrower, please? Nose and mouth only. I don't think I can do it. I'm gonna take it out. I don't think it's bugging me. Can I get this out without I don't think I can. I'm so afraid I'm gonna forget to put my label in that I tack it in there and then it's just a hot mess to deal with. So it's better for me to just slip it in on that last little stitch, you know, and then it gets, you know, sunk down in there, and it hangs out about the right. That's why I'm always just slipping it in right at the last second. Okay, but we're almost done. Oof. Taking out seam with rayon. You see that? I shouldn't have tacked it. Yeah, I know. Doing it this way. I'm gonna lose my seam. I know that. Just put it back in. See, I try not to, like, I could have just left it in there like that, right? And it would have just been kind of funny, but it would have been distracting. And I don't want anything distracting on this when it's hanging in a store and they're trying to, like, encourage people to sew it. Because, you know, any little thing that looks off, you're like, huh, does that mean something's wrong with that? You know? And they're kind and let me put my label in there, so. Okay. I'm just backing it off a little bit. I need to back it off a little bit where my seam is so that I can put my seam back in. When you have understitching and stuff, you kind of got to go past your seam so that you can get it nice and flat again. So we'll just stick the label in there at the very last second. Let's get rid of this right here. Like that, so it's nice and flat. Flat, please. Flat, please. There we go. Okay. Now we'll understitch again. And then we can finish our binding. I need to take out a little bit of this stitch right here. This is such a high visible area when it's hanging on a hanger. That's why I'm kind of treating it like this. In my closet, I wouldn't care very much. So it's just that it's a high visible spot when it's hanging on a hanger. And this does go to a store. Because they're like, look what you can make, you know? So much better. I'm so happy I did that. All right. Let's carry on. I don't know if I'm keeping calm, but I'm carrying on. Let's get rid of this thread here. Black thread always looks 10 times messier than white to me. I'm biased. It's always a little harder to get your binding to fold under there because it's thicker where you overlap. Another reason why it's nice to do it at the shoulder seam. So now let's just stick this in here like that. Get the awl to do some more work. I should trim some of that bias, but oof, it gets so dicey when you start trimming. All right. Made it. Bias kind of wants to do this, which is nice. Very cooperative bias. Good bias. Good bias. See, that's better, huh? Seamless on the outside. So when you do binding to the inside, you only have one line of stitching showing. Even though you have your understitch on the inside, it'll hang and look like that. Not bad. It's looking like it's going to lay pretty good once I press it a little bit. So we just have our hem. We already did the vent. Let's trim a little bit of this here. So our last seam. So Marianne, this is my last seam. So I'll finish it up and then I'm probably going to say so long, farewell. So let's see. This is interesting that we didn't finish that seam like that, but it just does this, right? I feel like I should have finished that edge. And you're putting leather handles on some IKEA stuff today? What are you doing? I hope I have some viewers to rage you with. I have respect for this pattern company. I'm just not a big fan of when they just say finish your seams however you like. That I understand that, but there's still some instructions that can like I would like some warning, like you're gonna want to finish this edge, and maybe it says that in there. I read it through pretty quickly, just kind of skimmed it, so. I'm going to go straight up. Usually this is what I would do. I'd fold it a corner and then go like this. Oh wait, actually I could do that. That'll work. And it looks a little bit mitered when you do that. See that? Got caught in a pin. It's like, what was that noise? I think I allowed 3/4 of an inch, so you can see right here the juncture. The fold's going to be right there, so it kind of gives it that mitered look. I kind of like that, you know. I also like it when it's straight up and down too. Now I didn't before, but I'm kind of liking that lately. Because it stays a square, you know. I like it staying square. So what do I do here? How did I miss this? I literally just sounded like a villager from Minecraft. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is that right? Did I just do the right seam hem allowance? I did, right? Wasn't it? Yeah, I want like a 3/4 inch hem allowance. 3/8 rolled. That's what I'm doing. Because I don't have the edge finished. I can't really do like a 3/4 inch wide hem allowance. Otherwise I would. So Saturday, this was supposed to be, it was supposed to be part 2 of this, but this is a pretty quick sew, even if you're fussing around like I have been this whole day. And so instead, we're going to do freestyle sewing, where I'm just going to hang out, and if you guys want to join me, great. If not, no worries. I'm going to work on this pattern for the, I used to make these and sell these, this little cherry pie pincushion. And you guys might want to sew one, it sounds like. So I'm just going to look at that. I haven't looked at that pattern in years. I don't know if I know how to sew one anymore, but I thought I would just like play around with it. And if it goes really badly, my backup plan is to work on this other pattern I have in my mind. I would like a hanging pattern organizer so that it hangs from like a closet dowel with pockets and like cascading pockets. And so I can hang my patterns up on a rack. I don't like them being in a file bin because I'm going to eventually run out of space for that. But as far as like a clothing rack goes, I always have one of those. Okay, I need to get a little closer. I was just experimenting with that. Man, I don't sew for like a few days and I fall apart. I know, I'm not falling apart, but I can tell I'm under the weather too, but I'm like, I feel fine. All right, here we go. So that's the other reason I like doing that little corner is that it looks like my back stitches are really terrible today. They keep going off crazy, but see that I can turn a corner right there. Let's get rid of this one here. All right. Let's hold it up and see. What have I got everything? Yeah, so these are some long ties. You know? But look at that. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching me struggle today a little bit and troubleshoot things. You know, I always like doing that anyway. But this was really fun. I'm really eager to try it on and see how it fits. So hopefully there'll be a home sew catwalk with me today. We'll see. And yeah, it looks good. This fabric is so fun. I love these colors. You press this really nicely. Press my hems. I'm gonna press my back seam, my darts, and then try it on and see what we think. And oh, I'm so glad, you guys. Thanks. And so Saturday I'll be here at 11 a.m. Pacific, and I'm just going to hang out and sew. Ask you if you have sewing questions. If you want to try things out, we could do that. Maybe I'll have some scrap fabrics on hand so we can kind of do some stuff. So I'm kind of just open to it. It actually sounds really nice just to hang out and sew whatever. And I'll see if I can pull off doing a high pincushion and figure out what I need to do to get that going. And then maybe I could give it to you guys as a free pattern to sew. So yeah, thank you, Eileen. Thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks to Hearts for giving us the fabric and the pattern. At least we kind of understand that we can't do a French seam with a vent without clipping it. I feel like you can. Maybe it's like a complicated couture technique, or maybe something I saw in threads once. I don't remember. So yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys. Thanks for coming. So I'll see you Saturday, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'm Saramy, by the way, and if you're new here, welcome. If you like what you see, subscribe. We're here 3 days a week. We usually cut something on Wednesday, so part 1 Thursday, so part 2 Saturday. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. And I post the schedule on Instagram. Website is soso.live. I put it, let's see, can I point to it? Oh yeah, wait, I can't figure it out. Right there. And that has like all the links to all the projects. So if you're like, I can't find part 2 of a video, if you go there, it's in a really nice, concise format, and you can see what size I made, any notes, how I feel about it, what fabric I use. It's very concise. I don't get wordy on that. And then all the links to all the videos are there. So it is kind of good. And some how-tos as well. That list is getting big, you guys. So, all right, I'm going to go raid Miriam. So if any of you guys here on Twitch, if you just stick around for a minute so we can raid her with a couple people, that'd be great. I can't tell how many viewers I have. If I have any on Twitch, let's see. I can't even see. Let's see if I can pull this up. Why can't I see that? Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, a few people here. Okay, cool. All right, let me figure out how to do that. All right, guys. Hasta sábado, iguanas. I'll see you then. Thanks so much for coming. Bye.